Oh, guys, good, you're here. I am so excited. Guess what? I hope this isn't about your podcast again. Why? Did you finally listen to it?
You're listening to BYOTP Radio. Coming up next, the Groomer Next Door. The Groomer Next Door Podcast.
Hello, Pups and Kittens, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of The Groomer Next Door. I'm your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me, as always, is the naysayer, Sarah.
Hello. That's rude.
That's what I do. And, of course, we have Claire.
Hello.
Well, let's jump right in. In a little bit, we have a great guest coming on. Her name is Kate Scott, and she is with a great company called VETCBD. It is an amazing and interesting company that you're all going to love. So with that said, let's go into our fun fact of the week. Now, because it's Valentine's Day coming up, I figured, you know what? Let's do something themed only to that. So, first thing, it's a couple things of statistics that were put together. I don't know who did it, but I found them very funny and interesting, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to share them. So, 61% of pet parents would end a relationship for their pet.
Yes.
Trust me, you would end a relationship with me for a lot less.
And those who should end a relationship with their pet
with
their spouse
and
can't because of their pet, reach out to Purple Leash.
Yes.
They'll help.
That's true. Next one, over 1/4 of pet parents have brought their pet on a date. I haven't.
I so would.
Oh, you're trying to tell me something? Are you trying to say you're going to go take your, either katana or rock on a date?
Take my girl.
Is this something you wanted to, dropping that? Okay, cool. All right. I see how this is going to go.
You're awful.
I see how this is going. Next one. If they were browsing a dating website, 35% of pet parents would be more likely to swipe right on a photo that included a dog. Which the only dating site that I think of is there's a site, and I can't even think of what it is, but it's a dating site, and I'm just thinking to myself, you swipe right and you like them, you swipe left and you don't get to like them, and you never see them again on profile.
That's so judgmental.
Oh, it's so judgmental.
That's awful.
I love it. I think it's awesome.
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that
anymore. I know, right? Here, we've actually never had to deal with dating websites. We've been together so long that dating websites didn't exist.
No.
The closest thing you had was Yahoo Chat.
Yeah, right.
The Messenger. That was our dating websites. Yeah. Wow. Hey, look it. We just dated ourselves there. It's like saying cassette tape. Next one. And these are going so well, if I should mention. 59% of pet parents say they'd whip up a special meal for their dog to enjoy on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
So you telling me I'm not going to have any kind of special meal?
No, we're going to do this new thing where you get the dog kibble and Katana gets a really nice prepared meal.
Thank God we actually feed our dogs good food.
Right.
It's
not really a threat, is it?
No, it's not a threat at all. And finally, 32% of pet parents consider their pet to be their Valentine. Which I can see that. And with all of that, let's dive into the weekly roundup.
The weekly roundup, yeehaw.
This week on our weekly roundup, we have a couple things that are going on. Actually a future thing that I'm going to mention, something that happened this week, and so forth and so forth. Let's start with Oliver. Oliver was one of our fosters. You may have remembered us talking about his name was Smash Mouth. He had been found in the woods,
If something happened, I don't know if someone kicked him or if he fell, but his entire front of his mouth was completely smashed in. He lost all his teeth. He had a bad infection going on in his mouth area. So he was on pretty strong antibiotics for a while, and it finally cleared up. And he's just now getting those teeth back. And this has been September. What's
great is that he was a kitten, so they were only baby teeth. And that's
Luckily.
the only positive that could be said about it. Talk about a cat that is absolutely the biggest enjoyment you could ever ask for. Fuzzy, adorable, loving, everything.
You gotta be careful with him, though. If you're walking past him and he's up on a counter or something, he will jump and he'll land square on your shoulders and he'll hold on. He doesn't really hurt, but he can.
It startles you. It startled me yesterday. I think I was
coming home. And you do this like the Spider-Man looking thing where, oh my gosh, don't fall. And he's like, all right, I'm cool.
Yep, and then he kind of wrapped himself around your neck like a scarf.
Yeah, he puts his tail around your neck.
Yep, and that's so fuzzy. So it's great during the winter. It won't be great during the summer, but we've decided pretty much right away, but we made the final decision that we were going to keep him.
Foster failure.
He is the Groomer Next Door pet salon mascot.
Right.
Is what he is.
And I fell in love with him the moment that he jumped up on my shoulder and got on top of my head and sat there while I groomed. I mean, he was able to sit there for half of a groom without moving, just watching me groom, just hanging out there.
Yes.
And now he's too big to sit on the head.
But he goes to the shoulders.
He goes to the shoulders.
He's amazing. So he was neutered this week. He came out a little groggy, but I think he was one of the last ones that were neutered that day because I can't pick up until later on, so they didn't have that, we got to get him done. So, great thing for him. We're prolonging his life by doing this, and we really want to advocate for spay and neuter as always. Mm-hmm. Next up on the agenda, next Saturday, which is
the 18th.
There you go. Pikal right here in Rolla will be holding a spay-giddy dinner. Proceeds from this dinner will go to the Spay and Neuter Fund for Phelps County Animal Welfare League. Is there a specific price?
No, it's just come on in, donate what you want, sit down, enjoy a dinner. We have gluten-free pasta, we have regular pasta, we have vegetable sauce, and then the meatballs are separate so that we are able to allow for vegans that come in or vegetarians that don't want to touch the meat. They get at least some kind of alternative. And a lot of people, especially lately, we're finding out that more and more people are allergic to gluten. And it's real important to make sure that we have gluten-free pasta. And we do. We're going to have garlic bread, salad.
Well, if they're allergic to gluten, they're not going to want to eat it.
Right. So that's why we have gluten-free pasta.
Oh, gluten-free. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't catch the free. I was sorry.
Yeah, we have gluten pasta.
I was like, what?
Gluten-free pasta.
My processing didn't work there.
And all is donated by Price Chopper here in Rolla. Thank you very much for that. And then everybody else all the board members are bringing a dessert. But you just come on in, enjoy some food, just throw a few bucks our way. Each donation means the world to us. It helps lower the population of unwanted animals and stops our pounds from having to put dogs down. I think we've done a very good job at trying to get animals spayed and neutered in this area. Problem is, it's so rural, and so many people are still stuck back in the 50s on thinking on how to handle animals that we still see puppies born every day.
What's also great is that when you actually hear it all the time, you see it, you'll get requests for low-cost spay or neuter, or depending on their income. A lot of times Pikal either covers half, more than half, or the entire. Yeah. So it is a major thing. You think to yourself, it's a Saturday night, you want to, have an easy night so you don't have to worry about cooking.
Don't have to worry about cooking, don't
cleaning.
worry about cleaning. It's all done for you.
And you don't have to. You don't have to pay a lot. You can pay $5, and you're set.
And it's not like you're eating with a group of people.
Right.
You come in, you get your spot, you sit at the table you want to sit at, you sit where you want, and just enjoy yourself. And you're not asked to stay the entire time.
Or help or do anything.
Or help. Just come on by.
And is there gonna be raffles?
Well, no raffles this time.
Okay.
We are stretched really thin right now as it is, and we need more volunteers. But we're getting there.
Well, I just wanted to mention that. And it's going to be, again, right here in Rolla at 102 South Pine Street. And if you want any details, it is on our Facebook page, the Groomer Next Door Podcast on Facebook. You can see it there. You can go to Phelps County Animal Welfare League's Facebook page as well to get more details. And we really hope, if you are in the area or in the surrounding areas, you come on down. And again, you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, and if you have a large family, it's even better.
Yeah, exactly. And who doesn't love spaghetti?
I could eat it every day.
Sauce, we're good to go.
Right. Now, did you want to mention a little bit about the situation that's been going on, and we're trying to, help out?
Well, there's a lot of stuff. The problem is being in a rural area is that people either don't care or they wait till the absolute last minute to actually do anything to help their animals. I know there's this one situation going on in southwest Missouri that they have 10 dogs and all 10 dogs are all emaciated. And it could have been just as simple as they took in strays and
lost control.
And then fell in extremely hard times and elected not to feed them versus finding a place for them to go. So now that they are all sick and don't know how they're going to get them back up to health, or it's going to be a long road, they do it just now versus letting anybody know back when they had problems.
So we're hoping to help out.
Well, right now the two that we were supposed to help out found a way of getting to Jeff City.
Okay, good. I didn't know that.
At the right time.
Okay.
I just found this out. We were supposed to do transport from St. Roberts to Jeff City today, but I told them I couldn't do it till after 3. And they're like, well, I can't take them in for foster until they're vetted, and the vet leaves at noon. So there's absolutely just no way for us to help. So someone else was able to take them all the way to Jeff City, get them vetted, and now they're nice and safe, or 2 of them at least are safe in a foster home.
Well, at least some things are happening. I mean, we'll keep you up. With our situation, it is very likely that we'll get some kind of notification. We've done it before, middle of the night, where we just jump in the car and head out to someplace. So, you know what? I always say just watch the Facebook page, because you never know when you're going to see pet transport in process, and it could be any time of the night. So that's that for the weekly roundup. And now let's move on to one of the harder parts of the podcast, but we have 2, and I say 2, which has never happened before, dog food recalls. All right, as I mentioned, we have 2 pet food recalls, which has never happened before, all at the same time, same day actually. It was like an hour apart. It was that quick. The first one came out of PetSmart. They have a brand called Great Choice dog food. The recall came out on the 8th of February. PetSmart has issued a voluntary recall of 1 production lot of Great Choice adult dog food with chicken, rice classic ground due to possible metal contamination. And this is a common one. That is something you do actually see a lot.
Especially when the food's made in an industrial setting.
Right.
It can happen.
The recalled product includes the Great Choice adult dog food with chicken and rice classic ground. The size is 13.2 ounce cans. And the best by date is 8/5/19. Lot code was 1759338. I will have a little bit more on that one if you want to look at the details on our description. And the second one came from Companion Dog Food Recall. This one also came out on the 8th. Giant Food Stores has issued a voluntary recall for specific lots of companion canned dog food due to a possible metal contamination as the last one. What was recalled? Recalled products include companion dog food with chicken and rice. They were 13.2 ounce cans. The best date was 8/5 of 19. Next one was companion dog food with chicken, lamb, and rice. That was the 13.2 ounce cans. And the third one was the companion dog food with turkey and bacon. The cans were 13.2 ounces. And you can check on our description page as well for this. We'll have UPC numbers, lot numbers, and more. And that concludes this week's very busy dog food recall.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. What do you do? What do you do?
Welcome to Pup Quiz.
Thank you. Thank you for introing me in. I needed that help.
Take 3.
Take 3. All right. As Claire said, we're going to be playing Pup Quiz. What it is I'm going to give you multiple choice questions, and we're going to see if you get them right. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. First question. What breed of dog is the smallest used in hunting? A. Chihuahua, Chihuahua. B. Miniature Doxy or Dachshund. C. Toy Poodle. Or D. Smooth Terrier.
Smooth what?
Terrier.
No.
Isn't that what I said?
Smooth.
Fox Terrier.
There you go.
Sorry. Well,
I
contestant.
say C, Toy Poodle.
You say C. Toy Poodle. And you are incorrect, my dear. It is B. Miniature Doxy.
The miniature dachshunds are bigger than a Toy Poodle.
But it said, what breed of dog is the smallest used in hunting?
Oh.
So, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So, Claire, that is 0 for 1. Keep that in your head, because I won't. All right, question number 2.
What does O for 1 mean?
It means Mommy hasn't gotten one right yet. Okay. Number 2. What is the name of the dog on the front of the Cracker Jacks box?
Your mom.
A. Jack. B. Max. C. Bingo. Or D. Fido.
B. Max.
I'm sorry. It is actually C. Bingo.
That's ridiculous.
That one is the one I actually got right. Actually, I am 2 for 2, even though I know I'm 2 for 2 because I have all the questions and answers. Hey, Alex Trebek gets them all right because he has the answers, and so do I. Yo. All right, 0 for 2. 0 for 2.
Okay.
Next question. How old was the world's oldest dog, an Australian cattle hound named Bluey, in human years? A. 32. B. 27. C. 30. Or D. 29.
B.
B?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's D. 29.
Whatever.
0 for 3, darling. 0 for 3. Okay. Number 4. What was the most popular dog name of 2011 according to VPI Pet Insurance? A. Lucy. B. Bailey. C. Bella. Or D. Max.
C. Bella.
Look at you. You got one right. And then what makes you think that Bella would be the answer?
Twilight came out.
Yeah, Twilight. Oh, God, that Twilight ruined me. Ruined me. Every so
Who's
often.
asking you to keep count?
That's 1 for 3, I think. I think that's where we're at. Whatever. Okay, next one. True or false? It is, and I don't particularly like this one, so I'm just gonna go. True or false? It is cheaper to spay or neuter a dog than it is to raise a litter of puppies for 1 year.
True.
Now, you think it's true.
Yep.
That is correct. It is true, and it's by the ASPCA came up with that. Which I'm a little surprised that they would actually admit that, because honestly, because 8 weeks, you know what, if you're going to have puppies, I would want my dog to be spayed or neutered. We're big for spay and neuter, though.
Well, they're just saying it's cheaper to get your dog neutered or spayed than it is to have puppies.
Oh, okay, I read that wrong then.
Yes, you did. It is much cheaper to go get your dog fixed than it is to raise puppies.
Thank you. You're right. Okay, I misread it. So, okay, I do like it. Thank you, ASPCA. I love you very much now.
I never doubted you for a second.
I'm tired. Again. All right. Lastly, so you're actually you've got 2 right, which is good. Last question. What is the most popular breed of dog according to the American Kennel Club's registration? Jeez, I'm doing great here. What is it? I'm going great too. A, Golden Retriever. B, Beagle. C, German Shepherd. Or D, the Labrador.
D, the Labrador.
You sure?
Yep.
Wow, look at that. You did it. You came through.
Because of Marley and me.
You've come through. Congratulations. You did it.
Am I fitty?
Yeah, you're a little bit over that. You had a winning record. Good job. Well, thank you for playing. What were we playing again? Come on.
Guess the breed.
No, we're not playing Guess the Breed. We're playing Pup Quiz.
Disappointed!
Oh, hello. Hold on a sec. Dad, we have a guest on the podcast.
All right, this week we are joined by Kate Scott. You're an amazing person who has a lot of knowledge, and I am just looking so forward to actually, picking your brain for the next, whatever amount of time it is. You're with a great company called VETCBD, and I just really want to know all about it. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Chris, for having me on your show. I'm excited to speak with you about VETCBD and answer all the questions that you may have.
Oh, perfect. Well, let's go with the obvious. What's CBD?
Okay, so CBD is a cannabinoid that is found in marijuana. It's also found in hemp. CBD stands for cannabidiol. When people think of cannabis, I think that the most obvious thing that people think of is THC, which is another cannabinoid. There are over 80 and probably more like over 100 cannabinoids in marijuana that we are still figuring out. THC and CBD are really the 2 most major ones, and by major I mean those are the 2 cannabinoids that most people know about and the 2 that are probably studied the most.
Interesting. Now, let's go into your background, because you're obviously not, new to this. So let's go with how did your start begin, and what is your background? Because I always like to know a little bit more about the actual person that's behind all this.
Sure. So I am an RVT, which stands for Registered Veterinary Technician, basically a veterinary nurse. I have been a veterinary nurse for almost 15 years, and I have spent the vast majority of that time working in emergency and critical care medicine. In October of 2015, Dr. Tim Hsu, who is the founder of VETCBD, contacted me and told me about the research that he was doing and about his company, and asked me to join his team. I had previously worked with Dr. Hsu in an emergency hospital, so that's how we knew each other.
Wow. So you're not new to this whole pet thing and medicine.
I'm definitely not, no.
So let's put that out there. You're smart. And so everything you say, I have to believe you. So is Dr. Hsu the one who thought one day, I'm going to actually use cannabis as an alien tool for pets? Or was there somebody else?
Absolutely. No, it was Dr. Hsu. Dr. Hsu is himself a medical marijuana patient, and first and foremost, Dr. Hsu's passion lies in animals and helping animals. And as a veterinarian, I think that one of the most important aspects of the job is giving a voice and advocating for the animals, because they can't do it for themselves.
Right.
So he knows how much marijuana can benefit people medicinally, and he knows that animals have the same endocannabinoid system that people do. So we can apply the medicine of cannabis to pets just like as people are using it.
And it's funny because I've been a little bit departed from Los Angeles and the California area for 7 years, as I mentioned. So this is 2000. What was then the actual year that this all started? 2015, right?
Yeah, VETCBD started as a company in February of 2015, and Dr. Xu contacted me in October of that year.
And you know, because I really want to think California was probably the first state, and I could be wrong, I don't have the facts in front of me, the first one to actually legalize marijuana. And I started to notice a little bit more research being done when we started to legalize it. And in a sense, and this is just, you know, from an outsider perspective, feels like we actually are doing more of the science now that we've legalized it, at least in a few states, than ever before.
Yeah, there's still a general lack of research when it comes to cannabis as a medicine in this country. But as more states legalize marijuana, whether it's medicinal or recreational or both, the more research is available and being done. So that's really what we are so passionate about is scientists continuing to do research about cannabis and how it can help people and animals.
And that's kind of how I got attached to this, because I'm attached to it more in the science factor. And like I said, my knowledge of anything marijuana, cannabis is pretty much nothing. Probably the best I could say is the movies that have been out. That's as much as I know, and
Sure.
which is nothing. But I do have that knowledge of wanting to learn from the actual science standpoint and how much we've learned in just the last 5 years.
Right.
And it's
right. It is very interesting. I love it. I think one of the most interesting things to me is the fact that all mammals and birds as well and amphibians have an endocannabinoid system, and that's just nothing. When I was taking all of my physiology and anatomy classes, I never learned about an endocannabinoid system either in people or in animals. And we've known about that for a long time, and I think that a lot of people don't know about it, and I don't think that it's being taught in a lot of schools.
I'm going to be the first one to say I have no idea what it is. Can you explain what that is? Because I'm not even going to try to say it without butchering it.
So it's the endocannabinoid system, and it's just the same as any other system in your body, like your nervous system or your cardiovascular system. The endocannabinoid system is responsible basically for homeostasis in your body, so regulating mood and temperature, things like pleasure and pain. But people have one, animals have one. I think that the only species that doesn't have an endocannabinoid system are arachnids, but I could be wrong about that.
Now, you know, thinking about this, and again, it's all the anatomy and the science behind this. Now, I know with dogs and cats, everything is so much heightened over our molecular structure. Is it heightened for them just like every other senses, or is it about the same as a human?
As far as we know, it's about the same.
I mean, and again, like I said, I'm going to, pick your brain for the duration of this, and I'm going to try to learn from you, because I have no idea anything about this, and that's why I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. Now, again, here's the misconception, and that is, of course, that, well, if I give my animal, whether it's a dog or cat, anything that has marijuana, they're going to get high. Can we please, squash that misconception?
Absolutely. I think that it's a very common thing to worry about, and you should worry about it because you don't want to get your pet high. We don't want to get your pet high, and you shouldn't either. So the difference between using a CBD product like VETCBD and just giving your pet a brownie or blowing smoke in their face is we use a high CBD strain marijuana flower. So there's not enough THC in the plant to cause a psychoactive reaction. So while there is THC in it because it is marijuana, it's just not enough THC to cause the high.
And, here's something that I've read about. We've done little stories about it, and that is, of course, there's definitely places that you can get marijuana, edibles, I guess is the word I'm looking for, and how animals tend to get their hands on it. So that's my big thing. That's why I wanted to make sure we talked to you, because it's like, this is completely different. That's negligent pet parents. This is different.
It is different. Yeah, I've seen scores of animals come into the emergency room after they've gotten into their owner's edibles or sometimes flour or what have you. And not only, especially when a pet gets into an edible, not only do you have to worry about the high amount of THC that they have consumed, but you also have to worry about chocolate toxicity or possibly nut toxicity. So yeah, this is totally different. It's not going to get your pet stoned.
And see, that's what I always find kind of interesting. And, again, being in the Midwest, as I said before we started, the misconceptions are so different. It's anything that has the word marijuana, hemp, cannabis, it's all the same, and it's just somebody looking to have fun. And I'm like, no, that's not what it is.
Right.
So how is VETCBD administered?
It's a tincture. So it's an olive oil-based tincture, and it comes with an oral syringe. So it's measured, Dr. Shu formulated the dose based on body weight, so you just have to draw up the medicine into the oral syringe, and then you can put it right into your pet's mouth, or you can put it on their food like a dressing. We found that most pets, especially dogs, really like the taste of it because it tastes like olive oil, kind of like an earthy olive oil, because those are the only two ingredients, is the CBD and the olive oil.
And that was going to be my other question is, what does it taste like?
Yeah, I've tasted it.
I was going to ask that question. Now, is that part of the whole process, tasting the product to make sure, okay, is it bitter, and be able to explain it to, the customer base?
Yeah, it's all human-safe ingredients. Like I said, it's just olive oil and organically grown cannabis. So there's nothing wrong with a person tasting it because I know a lot of pet owners are really picky about what they are giving to their pets, and I know that some pet owners do try the medicine before they give it to their pets to make sure.
Our doctor for our daughter, when we had our daughter, she had acid reflux, and they said, taste everything so that what your child's actually ingesting, so that and then if you can kind of adjust accordingly to food or even just, the medicine the way it is. And I do know a lot of pet parents that are the same way. They're like, I want to know what's going in and how it tastes and how I actually have to administer it. So, what are the symptoms that VETCBD treat?
Okay. We recommend VETCBD for pets who have anxiety, whether it's noise anxiety, like with the 4th of July or thunderstorms. Separation anxiety is a big one, traveling in the car. Also, ailments like seizures is a big one, nausea, loss of appetite, inflammation, and by inflammation, that could be anything from pain from arthritis, because the joints are inflamed, or something like IBD, or certain allergies.
Now, on allergies, I'm seeing things from another perspective. Midwest, man, there can be so many different allergies that our pets can have. So that would actually be a big benefit in a place like this.
Right.
Now, is VETCBD available in all states, or is it only limited to certain states?
At this time, we're only available in California, and in California, available in medical marijuana dispensaries. We definitely have plans to be available in other states. Obviously, it will be states where marijuana is legalized. We want to make sure that CBD is available to as many pets and their pet parents as we can be, but right now, just in California.
And I would think, this is just me, I thought, okay, well, probably Colorado, and I think Washington's another one. I don't have the list of all of them, but I thought that you would be available in a lot of different states. Now, is that a law thing, or is it just distribution?
So it does have its basis in legalities. We are still a fairly new company, and in order to be available in dispensaries in other states, you actually have to have a facility in the state where you're set up, because you cannot cross state lines with marijuana or marijuana products. So we would have to have a facility in, for example, Colorado or Washington or Oregon before we can be available in dispensaries in those states. And like I said, we do have plans to do that, we're just not there quite yet.
Wow, that's kind of hard. That's harsh rules. So if somebody, let's just say somebody in Texas or Miami, obviously I call it a city instead of a state, but let's just say people in different places, they're saying, hey, you know what, I really want to order this. Can they order it and have it shipped, or is that impossible as well?
Again, unfortunately, they can't because it is not legal to ship marijuana products across state lines. So, yeah, I talk to people every day from other states and also from other countries who are really looking, to try VETCBD on their pet who is suffering from bad arthritis or seizures, and it's hard for me to tell them that.
Does VETCBD work for cats?
Yes, absolutely. Like I mentioned, all animals have an endocannabinoid system, so it will be helpful to any animal with an endocannabinoid system.
Which helps a lot. And cats have, they're so much more independent than dogs sometimes. I mean, I know our dogs, they get depressed when we leave. And if I'm home and let's say my wife is gone, they're missing my wife, or the same thing reverse. And a couple of cats are the same way, which is kind of weird. I never actually felt that cats had that attachment as much, but we have a couple of them that are like that. And it's so what are the benefits of treatment with your pet with the VETCBD?
Okay, so like I mentioned previously, we recommend VETCBD for pets who have anxiety, inflammation, seizures, nausea, loss of appetite. CBD is an antiemetic, it's an anticonvulsant, it is an anti-inflammatory, an antioxidant, and an anti-anxiolytic. So those are the reasons why CBD, one product, one compound, can help with so many different disorders.
Now, what about hip dysplasia? Would that actually kind of help that situation out? Because we have an American Akita, and we're always panicking. Oh gosh, she's 7 years old. We're always worried about that. Would that actually help, obviously not prevent it, but with the pain?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of inflammation when it comes with hip dysplasia, and inflammation kind of go hand in hand, so it can really help with the inflammation and the discomfort.
See, that's my thing. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, we watch her all the time. We don't allow her to jump in the bed. We don't, it's like, let's prevent her from any kind of major jumpings.
Right.
So, how can our listeners actually, because obviously we talked about it being only in California right now, how can they actually order their own VETCBD?
So VETCBD is found in medical marijuana dispensaries throughout the state of California. So if you have a medical marijuana recommendation for yourself from your physician, then you can enter a dispensary, and then once you're in the dispensary, you can make any purchase, including VETCBD.
What about online? Do you actually do online sales as well?
We do not. It's just one of the stipulations of being a marijuana product.
I always wondered about that. That's kind of, again, down to the science of it all. It's, again, goes into that law where law can sometimes be science, as you pretty much are you noticing yourself. But, it's kind of weird that you would have, again, I don't really know much about, having are they actually called green cards? Because that's what I've heard, to have your license to actually be able to go into a dispensary. But I would always think that you would have like a certain number that you could put on there and be able to order that. So it's kind of odd. It's a weird kind of medium that you're kind of working with.
It is, yeah. There's like a legal loophole that allows products that are sourced from hemp, CBD sourced from hemp, to be sold online or in a pet boutique. But because we're not sourced from hemp, because we're sourced from marijuana, then we can only be available in dispensaries.
Boy, that's such it's a weird thing, because I look at it and I go, and we had just said it, this is a science. I mean, this is actually a benefit. I would think that Canada would be a real hot topic to be able to go up to Canada, and that would be a major location, just because they seem to be a little bit more ahead of us when it comes to all this. So I don't know. Again, throughout all this process of trying to look at this and research everything, I'm probably as clueless as you're going to get, but and just like you want to know more and want to experience more to the science part of what's the benefits? What can we do with this?
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the biggest moves forward when it comes to pushing away the stigmatization of cannabis is education. The more that people learn about how cannabis can help and about CBD, because CBD is just one of the compounds in cannabis and it's not a psychoactive, so you're not gonna get high from it. Just information and education, it just really goes a long way towards pushing back the stigma that's attached to marijuana.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really see why people have to always go right to the simple, oh, you're getting high type thing, but unfortunately, it's the way it is. Now, is there anything I'm leaving out that I have not hit on a topic that you think would actually really put this into perspective? Because, again, you're the expert here. I'm just trying to learn from you.
I don't think so. I think you asked all of the really great questions. Like you said, you didn't know very much about cannabis or CBD, so you really asked some great questions about it and about our product. So I think it was a very informative interview. And then if people have more questions, they can always contact us as well.
And I will have full description in our notes regarding VETCBD website, more information, and I definitely hope that the laws do change a little bit so that you can start branching out a little bit more, because this is kind of one of those things I'm like, come on folks, this is again, it's science. Shouldn't we be actually looking at this in a medical way instead of this unfortunately terrible stigmata that it comes with? But
exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Kate, for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Kate Scott, for joining us this week. It was enlightening, educational, and I really appreciated you making the time for us. I know she's extremely busy.
Because it took a while for her to be able to dedicate just a few minutes to us.
Yeah, we were working this out for a while, and I'm really, the takeaway is that cannabis has so many principles. We're always thinking, oh, it's just marijuana, it's just people wanting to get high. And see, if you look at it, you got to take yourself out of this narrow-mindedness and see that there's a lot of scientific benefits here, whether it's human or it's animal. And look at the immune system, it's simpler. So it's like, I was listening to her going, here's Anatomy 101, I guess I was going through, and I'm thinking, this is an amazing thing.
We got to change people's minds on thinking, no, this isn't just to get, like you said, it's not for you to get stoned. There's actual hidden things and so many different layers of what medical marijuana can do for people, or the different layers of the cannabis. It was eye-opening just to see how many people have such a closed mind.
Right.
And how far we are from all 50 states allowing it to be legal.
Yeah, it's like 49 states can't get this because of all these restrictions.
Well, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And I don't see what the big deal is here.
I think what it comes down to, and nothing against, celebrities or artists that are well known for their marijuana usage. You have Willie Nelson, you have Snoop Dogg, you have Kevin Smith. They're all very well known, but they're also very well known because they're open about how they smoke a lot of marijuana. And
it's so funny to hear you say that.
and I look at it and I go, that's the only thing that we think of. When we think of marijuana, it's only people getting high. And come on, you just heard a very educated woman talk about the principles behind and all of the possibilities that cannabis share.
And the big thing is, too, is if you look, how many dogs have severe anxiety?
Yeah.
How many dogs have a problem with going for a ride? All this can be helped. All this can be eased if we allow it to.
Right.
No, they much rather shove a bunch of toxic drugs down their dog's throat, or down your kid's throat,
or down your throat,
just so we don't touch the stigma that is attached to anything cannabis.
Yeah, I mean, I it's one of these things. I love science, and I love the fact that we've got so many opportunities, but unfortunately, and I can speak for just the United States. I think Canada has a little bit more
leniency.
Yeah, and I know Europe does too. We're probably one of the only countries that has such a tight hold on it, and I don't know why. Because as you heard, look at what it can do, but you have to have. And am I right when I say a green card? Is that what they're still called, or is it now something different?
I thought it was. That's what I remember it being back when we were in California. People had to get their own card, and then you had to have your own grow card so you can grow it yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
It's unbelievable the different things that this can help for the dog. The anxiety, the pain, for joint pain.
Right.
How many of our dogs, our large dogs, end up with hip dysplasia or some kind of arthritic problems? Here, this can come in, and as simple as one dosage, can start kicking in and start helping and mellow them out or help the inflamed areas without using real, stuff that can cause mental damage, because there's some medicines that have a mental side effect and can make them crabby, that can make them angry, that can
docile, completely knock them out almost. I mean, talk about, well, I'm afraid of giving my dog this actual treatment, this product, because I don't want it to be high, which obviously that's not the case. Your dog does not get high. It has no kind of high resolution, I don't know.
High resolution.
Yeah, I don't know, properties, or whatever it's called. I mean, I am so not understanding marijuana or getting high, but it doesn't have that effect, is what I'm...
Funny to hear you say marijuana.
That's most time I've ever said it since we've been together. 14 years, and I've never used the word more in our entire time together.
We joke about weed, but...
Well, that's movie lines you use. But and again,
it's funny to hear it from you.
Again, here we are. It's a stigmata. You got movies like Pineapple Express that were just about pot and about getting high. And that's where all of us are at. We're thinking that that's all that marijuana is. There you go. You're still laughing at the fact that I say it.
Well, see, you're so new to this stuff. You're still talking about the actual plant.
Cannabis.
And I would like to just make sure everybody understands and sees the benefits of what it can do in all aspects of medical.
Yes.
You see it where it can help stop seizures rolled on the bottom of the foot. You can see how it helps with pain, how it helps with depression, and is able to help shape people from having a better life versus these drug manufacturers. I'm talking about prescription drugs. They sit up there and they're testing, constantly testing, putting stuff together, making these cocktails for people. And something as simple as what grows from the ground and what's extracted from the plant could be used to help people. They would much rather you take something that has been manufactured in a plant to give to your dog and shove down their throat. Because
I think that as a country, we are more inclined to make the prescription drug manufacturers wealthier than they already are, versus
more
doing the right thing. And that's been the problem. And we've seen that, and we've heard different stories about it. Not even going to go political on it, but the way our country is right now in the medical field is all derived For one thing.
Pharmaceuticals.
They're the ones who have controlled
They have everybody by their short hairs.
Yeah, and
because everybody needs their medicine to help stay alive. And what are you going to tell them? Either you pay me money or you die. Well,
right.
People are going to pay you money.
Well, it's not even just that.
It's if you look at our dogs. If Katana starts having pain problems in her hips, and we live in Missouri, it's not legal.
Nope.
Then you have to go and buy these drugs that were manufactured to help her with the pain. And since they've already paved the way in research. You can grow more into funding for the research to discover more that we don't know.
I think we know. I think that there's scientific facts
to figure it out that could.
I think they're classified. I think it's all classified. It's been buried. That's my thought process. I just don't. I think you're right. We should be. That's what we should be doing.
But what I'm trying to say is that she was talking about how the research itself is limited, and as it becomes more of a bigger product, the more research that they can do.
Right. No, I understand that.
Unfortunately, if it's just in California, then they really have to focus on their California base. And then the restrictions of having to be in whatever state to do the manufacturing and the distributing through that state is ridiculous. That means this one company have to go into these different states to open up in order to sell there, because you can't take it across state lines.
They have to only sell in an actual marijuana facility.
Yes, and they can't ship it across state lines, is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
So they're forced to not only do their studies, but then open up another plant, driving up cost. Because in order to open up another place to manufacture this, you're going to have to pay for the facility and distributing from there. So that, like I said, the price gets driven up extremely high. Versus them being able to ship out to states who already allow marijuana.
That's what I found weird. I found that strange.
And go to those stores.
Yeah.
Okay, you only want it sold out at a particular store. That's not a bad thing. Go to those stores, pick it up.
Yeah, I thought Colorado you could get it there, but no.
No, you can't.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
And in order to open up in Colorado, they have to have a manufacturer there, which is ridiculous. They need only one, so they can go from state to state. That, to me, is frustrating.
I'm with you. And I was shocked. I could not believe that. I was like, whoa, I didn't even know that.
They're trying to abide by all the rules and all the laws, and they're doing a stellar job at that. But the laws are getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
They still have this stigmata that it is something absolutely horrible, and you're going to get a high, or the dog's going to get some kind of contact high from it, and it's not true.
Right. Yeah, I don't get this.
It's grown naturally. It's not manufactured. Nobody really cares. It's like processed food. You're not supposed to really eat processed food. You're supposed to eat more natural foods.
Yeah.
A lot of good things happen when you eat natural foods versus processed. Well, here you got drugs. Drugs are manufactured. They're processed. This is grown.
Yep. I don't get it either.
So hopefully in the next decade or so, it becomes easier on them, and the research able to expand and find out even more of the good things that it can be used for our pets and just in general for people.
Yeah, I think we need to get the prescription drug manufacturers. We need to shut them. Regulate them. Why should they be controlling everything? Because honestly, I don't see it working.
Well, I mean,
it's not working though.
If you were never allowed to get narcotics in prescription form through the pharmacist, and you're fighting to get it, this is what's going to happen. See, any kind of marijuana of any sorts, all illegal. Well, now it's not, and they're still working to push forward to where
like
we're
you said,
all on the same page.
10 years, maybe we'll be lucky enough to see in 10 years things to get a little bit better. Scientifically, I just don't look.
The science behind it is amazing.
It is.
It's interesting, especially coming from us who really aren't science majors.
Speak for yourself.
No, I'll speak for you too.
Okay, that's probably good.
But it is very interesting.
I played with dirt once or twice. That's got to be science.
And it's great to see that this person woke up one day and said, you know what? I am going to make something that's going to help these animals.
Oh, look at, she's been working as, with emergency medicine with animals at the clinic for 15 years. I mean, she's got the experience.
And she got it right on the ground floor.
Right.
Good for her.
Right.
Well, hear more.
I do too. I want to hear more, and I want to know more, and just keep feeding my brain because that's nice. Well, by that sound, that's Claire turning on the applause sign, so that means that we must be getting out of here. You know what? It's been fun.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
So if you guys are all out there, I hope you guys all have a really good Valentine's Day, whether with a 2-legged or 4-legged date this year, and have a pet-tastic week. I threw you off.
Yeah, because you didn't do your normal stuff. I'm here making sure everybody realizes life is short. Play with your pet.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go. It's my bedtime. Wait, you forgot about me. And now a moment with Claire.
Hi, Claire. You're just done with game number 4 of basketball, and you won. Congratulations.
Yep.
That's it? That's what we got? Yep. So what happened? Tell us all about the game.
It was great, actually. There was people passing. People were good. My team rocked. And this is surprising, there was only 3 people.
Yeah.
4.
Oh yeah, since the other team gave one of their players to our team, and then the other player went back to the other team.
All right, keep going. What else?
So then Abby wasn't there, and I can't remember the other kid's name.
Right.
Reagan, I think.
No, that's on soccer.
No.
Reagan wasn't there.
Okay.
Abby and Reagan and
Yeah,
that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So during the game, defense. How was defense going for you?
defense was actually awesome. Defense person that was trying to defense me was pretty good.
Defense me.
And the other person that was my first defenser wasn't kind of good as defensive mean. She was so tired.
Yeah, she was so tired. Yeah, actually, okay, here's something I don't know if you know. You had multiple kids that changed out wristbands. What happens is that they're all given wristbands with certain colors.
Yeah.
And they have to guard the person with that color. So if
I'm just picking random people.
No, you stayed on your actual wristband today, but
Yeah.
here was the funny part. They couldn't keep up with you. So they kept changing out. You had 3 different people covering you throughout the game, and one actually it was 4. I take that back. Statistics just showed me that it was 4. And one person even said, no, I don't want to cover her. We heard it on the sideline. It was hysterical.
Because you're bouncing around getting in a position, and you're moving so fast.
They couldn't keep up with you.
The other kids are falling and tripping.
Was it the girl?
Yes, well,
and
they're
the one
only
girl
girls.
was so short that you just towered over her.
Number 21, she couldn't keep up with you.
Yeah.
The only one who could keep up with her was number 15. That one really was able to keep up with you, but she even fell over.
But she didn't want.
And she was half your size. So.
And then the little girl was number 5. She was tiny, and I could be able to actually do that.
I love your trash talking. It's awesome. We got to work on it, but I'm enjoying it. So what else? Anything else? Any words of wisdom from your wonderful coach?
No.
No? I'm not the coach this year, so that's why I say it. All right. Well, is that it? We'll say goodbye.
Goodbye. And this was A Moment with Claire.